And I just want to double check. You can hear me okay?
Yes,
All
yes.
right. So I'm going to start out with some older poems because I like to share things that you guys have not heard yet. The first poem I'm going to do is called Resurgam. And it actually is Latin, meaning I'll rise again. It actually comes from Jane Eyre. Um, and that little seed brought, just ramified into one thing and then another. Anyway, Resurgam. I will recall to life whatever I think deserves it. I will arise and never have to go back to sleep again. I will awake and rise from bed fully clothed, springing upright in one sudden bolt without bending my knees. I will sweat out numerous maladies without imbibing gallons of liquids. I will have all the hydration I need. I will have it all. My lips and mouth will never be crusty or solid. My throat will never again feel like phlegm jerky. I will breathe mist and spout new life into every old property. I shall rise again, and after dying from the inside out, I shall rebirth myself from the outside in. I shall arise in the afternoon with the day prepared before me. Perhaps I shall rise at mid morning to meet it. I will scrape the heavy side layer with loose steel wool which I raveled and unraveled and re-raveled myself. I will rise again and am rising again and again each time I don't convince myself that it doesn't matter. I will rest maybe one more time, I think. I will be my own resurrector set. I will rise and turn the shower on, yet wait outside the curtain. I will emerge from the room like a great from lowest known watermark, erect and bulging, sniffing mist and not bothering to fight for air. I will return to bed and read. This next one is called Baby's Room Moving Day. The house is free of them. The curse is lifted. It is as free and pure as the elements it shielded away. It will outlive them, these walls they made, these shoddy constructions of strife and drywall molded to fit. Every room picked clean of life, every boxed secret unearthed from its spot in the closet, every pockmarked corner swabbed of sickness and intrusion. House and family have graduated from one another. There is nothing left to say. At which point, the youngest child, knowing nothing but the sky above her, sits in the corner where the crib should be, stretches her lean body backward across the packing crates, lies there supine, her spine reclining on the uneven. She glimpses her first view of her world. A blank sky painted the color of a ceiling, open and smooth and nurturing, demanding nothing of her but to simply be, to open her eyes and be where she is. And the next one is called Newfound Landing. Ice white, ice blue, ice white lavender. In this rarefied world of rarefied air, where the only noise is a calm hum drowning out a German flight attendant speaking English with a British accent, where the window cannot distinguish sky from sea, cloud from snow, till the roads begin to cut lines across the topography. I can only wish that the place I land for good is as classic and unfettered as this craggy Newfoundland, a province with a promise, a word nomer so teutonically compact, so maniacally simple in its grounding, its freedom. In this maritime neutrality with its own time zone, the fractured baggage of tectonic shifts where Laurasia gave way into North America. What name would I bestow upon this foundling, this newfound landing? Would that I could find a truer world, a truer language, self sufficient and compact enough to capture its own hope. Um, this next one is called Last 100 Words over Newport Bay. Next time there'll be no Los Angeles to lose all over again, no old world to get sentimental about. No second California will self-destruct. No clean lumps of white hill will give up its palms. Balboa will not be Balboa by another name. Nothing left for the sea to regurgitate and re-regurgitate. Clouds are flotsam over an underwater country. Mountains, sea on opposite sides. Our tray tables hold club soda, posters of Newport Bay from air, Orange County from space, emergency instructions on how to breathe in Spanish oxygen through masks, parachute into the blue, float like ocean jetsam. So the next one is a little bit older. February comes to Vanderbilt Children's Hospital. Helicopters throb their way through this dusk evening, ever threatening till a brash child calls its bluff. From groundhogs to valentines, red maples, pristine as Canada itself, refuse soggy leaves worthy of their name. Plastered wet against brick, the size of a robust boy's first baseball mitt. Our 6-bed room is pure primavera. My wheezing throat sings, my red nose blooms, my white bronchitis in gorgeous flower. My fevered temper is tempered with tinted oxygen, a plastic chuppah, the gossamer hue of frost or mist. A guest chair is 3 feet down. The floor floats below. Bed to bed, children migrate in primary colored layered gowns, robes, gauze, antiseptic Bedouins, hunting like clockwork for a way to go outside. I'm a clear pluff cow, billowing white bedding. Winter loves me on my bed of icing sugar. Even my urine's pure enough to can. Copper plate tectonic, the room drifts like time in a syrup-hazed reverie. Dark rubber reptiles share my snow. An angry crocodile, a bungling forest green frog, a periwinkle forked-tongued snake, some nubbly red-orange amphibian, possibly non-existent in nature. I swim through sheets and quilts, shore myself on a white pillow, and wait for spring to show itself. Were February a color, it would be a clumpy swirl of white and rose, a strawberry parfait blanching and rouging in sporadic spurts, a red fruit white on the inside, or a cake baked without stirring, or an ever-whitening, ever-pinkening rose, the color of winter, or the color of my breathing on a good day at Vandy. So I'm going to do things that are a little bit more recent. And this actually is from, I've mentioned before that there are actually 2 poem collections I'm working on. One is specific to my experience in the early days of the pandemic. So I actually need to scroll down just a little bit. And some of you may have heard this first one before. Brooklyn Queens Expressway. My Brooklyn boy is dead and buried in Queens. Born and raised amidst Midwood, Brooklyn, but carefully quarantined forever in Ridgewood, Queens, on the other side of the racing expressway. The graveyard is such a gatekeeper, visiting hours of a ship-shaped medical center, everything in order, here's his place in it, his allocation. Like the hospital he last was at, there's a record of him as an occupant of sleeping quarters, yet nobody can tell me where exactly Brooklyn Boy is now or how exactly Brooklyn Boy is doing. Any answer I want is all in the records. Sorry, not our department. He's around here somewhere. This bald mound of earth in Queens is where they last left him. Down the road from the great-grandfather he's named after, both grandmothers, one unnamed stillborn that could have been either an uncle or aunt, one great-aunt, dead at 22, her marker the gnarled shape of a tree trunk cut down too soon. We can't regenerate this, what's been truncated. We can't undo this. We can't sweat this out, wait this out, purge this out, and then do a swap to make sure what took over, shook us to our core, is truly gone. Hold on a second. I lost my place. I apologize. We can't regenerate this, what's been truncated. We can't undo this. We can't sweat this out, wait this out, purge this out, and then do a swab to make sure what took her, shook us to our core, is truly gone. Brooklyn Boy can't Houdini his way out of his wooden box, break free from his white shrouds, claw his dirty way upward, burst forth from the earth, feel his way to the cemetery exit, and catch the next B-13 bus back to Brooklyn. If he makes it back that far, he'll find that the city he helped move has moved on without him. Moved on without waiting on me either. There's no express to wherever I might escape. No expedient answer to what I want now. Like Brooklyn boys always ask, what do you want from my life? This is where his story last left off. I'm stretched out over his mound, on top of him now, nose to the ground, ear to the earth, everything akimbo, all possible bases covered. Yet though he's directly below me, we cannot give what each other's got in the 6 feet span. No virus can plague him now. Whatever took hold of him can't hurt me, and whatever I've got in me now can't hurt him. He's around here somewhere, Brooklyn Boy. 6 feet downward, socially distanced for good. This one is called Edit. Okay. You were written out of the story like some star who crossed the great producer. No final episode, no swan song, just an offstage departure and a reason that wrought no sense, which none of the audience bought. A ghost in the machine explained you away a la comédie française, or some Shakespearean denouement, except not. Your character's future retired amongst sketches on the cutting room floor. Next on the agenda is finding a viable replacement for you, whoever you were, whatever you meant to the plot, however you'd fashioned our story arc into shape. A playwright is no playwriter, but hones a purpose from a point. A Cartwright, wheelwright, boatwright. There is no writing this. We can't work with what can't be felt, with what isn't there, when not a footprint of you and me remains. So this next one is called Markings. As months tumble awkwardly on the balance beam, I curl inward, press my nose nowhere in particular. I weep while showering, weep while walking, weep while eating, weep while playing Sudoku, weep when I solve Sudoku. In time, I quietly suck his name in my sleep. My teeth clench into their new drop zone. An appendage sprouts inside my mouth at the side of my lip. It forms in an open space between teeth and my crossbite. Slick, self-filleting, self-defeating. It protrudes when my mouth is open, and there's no turning back now. I am marked now. A covenant has been created, and his name is on everything. I call everyone around me Ben. I blurt out Ben in a frustrating conversation with my father. I call anyone who argues with me Ben. I call my friend Ben. I call my friend's dog Ben. The damn dog probably thinks his name is Ben. He thinks Ben is a payan. When I talk to myself, I call out for Ben. An accident, an invocation, an accusation. Was I talking to Ben or am I talking to myself? Is one and another the same? He'd interrupt me when I told him not to interrupt, but that was then. He nags me in my sleep at the regular 10:30 hour when my flip phone used to alarm querulously from the same payphone on the same subway platform, probably Atlantic Avenue, to the point that I'd save the number on my speed dial as Ben at payphone. He'd be ringing back then, and he'd be directing me to turn my laptop back on and look up an article online, something he'd found half-torn page of On the Train, or something a friend said mentioned his name or a project he championed. But when he saved lives, Ben never told me. I saw the story on my own in the news and called him out of anxious concern. It was no big deal, just doing his job. Then, whenever he called, it would be the neighborhood of 11 o'clock. I'd have to unflip the laptop and claw my glasses from 10th grade out of some drawer or other. He'd listen intently as I recited entire articles aloud, word for word, unsatisfied to the last paragraph, and fired off his own fumbling Talmudic-style commentary until I'd ask, "Can I turn this off now?" He had something to say about everything. See, Ben has everything to say about something. From the phone, he'd be yelling that my father was an idiot to go shopping during the lockdown. He could get this and give it to me. But that was then. There's no thwarting this. He nags me daily before I wake up and unlock from the night's rumination. Somewhere, he's urging me to see a doctor when the lockdown ends. I can hear him. He's back, he's everywhere, and he'll never shut up now. So, I'm gonna do a last poem, and this one is called Park Slope Pastoral. There's an estate in this farm meadow. Schmutz from the city tracks itself downward to the subway, lines the tiles along the stone park borders. Lawn chairs chain themselves to brownstone stoops. Nobody's kidding. In another dream, the field I turn in feeds into a glen, leads into bridges and streams, a merry-go-round churning out the theme of Welcome Back, Cotter. Hundreds of miles from where I lay my head now, but of course, here we are. Even your surname means shepherd. I need no one to guide me through, no guardian to herd me along St. John's Place, no one to warn me away from taking clothes left free on brownstone stoops. Dead bugs. No one to warn me away from taking the subway corner seats. Bad bugs. No one to rattle off best practices of what to do if I find myself on the subway tracks. Don't try to climb out, just get under the rail and let the trains run over you. No smooth rubbed touchstone with which to usher myself along the alternations of green grass and sidewalk. I just need to walk the walk and assume I'll find you at my elbow again at some point. If I can just get back to this field and the unhiding cities surrounding it, I can look for you in the air. I can find you in the wind. I can feel you in the fluctuating heat. I want not the guardian, the scribe, the recorder, the preserver, the worker, the man of the city, the man of the people, the hero, not the officer and the gentleman, but the kindred soul who walked the world with me, who smiled without a face, who trekked the plains of his own living dream song and kissed me at the right stop. That is the sheep herder from whom I search the fields, even if no feet walk with me, even if I feel nothing on my lips when my walk is done. Um, I hope it's okay. I'd like to do one more, and then I'm really going to stop. I promise.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay. This one is called Chorus, and it's for the Sunday night Zoom OGs, and they know who they are. On this spot, stories we shared firsthand were lost in translation secondhand. People who waited as their parents spent weeks on shelves and trucks. The mother who went into the furnace with the vent still inside her body. The grandmother who, in the ICU, had been prone to the point that the funeral home gently advised the family not to view the photo they'd authorized of her because a woman they couldn't kiss or caress one last time no longer looked human. Then another funeral director, at capacity, if not past, who warned one man's wife, if you want closure, take him out of town. The cell phones never recovered in hospitals. The sleeping giants who fought and fought and fought and dared in their deep, weeks long slumber to show signs of cautious improvement. That fate hopeful calm before the cyclone storm hit and blew through the free flying house of cards. The faint images of lungs on x rays. The friend who successfully stayed safe until she entered the hospital. The patients who had to wait to get into the hospital in the first place. The families who never got past the ER lobby. The loved one who spent his life fighting for the people but had no advocate alone on his side of the hospital demarcation. Like they became numbers, we too became numbers, populating and repopulating the air, each with our own sirens. What happened in other countries, other centuries, is happening now in real time. It can happen again. How it goes down depends on how we step up. And hearing them, I wonder what untold stories owned him on the other side of the hospital checkpoint. And hearing all this, I see that he and I were comparatively lucky in some ways, and less so in others. Some were lucky, some not so much, and some were lucky enough to make some of their own luck. This spot marks something we never saw, an impalpable faith that what we can't see can kill us, alter us for all time, bring out the best and the worst in the world we've wrought into shape. Some were heroes, some didn't have a choice. On this spot, we will show you what you will not see. Thank you. And thank you, David, for having me.
Absolutely. On this spot, we will show you what you cannot see. Wow, absolutely marvelous. Therefore, I was marveling at it. Uh, I love that whole thing where you're calling to life anything that needs to be. And what a statement this is. I shall rebirth myself from the outside in after you had made a statement about going from the inside out. And you use the name Houdini as a verb. He
Mhm.
can't Houdini his way out. I love it. Newfound landing, clever use of the Newfoundland and Newfound landing. Parachute into the blue. You have such incredible, fascinating images. The clouds are flotsam, and then you use jetsam later on. And this line, the room dressed like time. Oh my God. It's quite something. Let's all unmute our mics and please clap or comment. It's up to you.
Lisa, that was just amazing.
Wonderful.
I
Thank
have to
you.
ask you, are you, do you have a background in healthcare?
No,
Oh,
I don't have a background in healthcare. We
thank you for your
I
presentation.
I I lost two people close to me during the in this pandemic. My significant other and then a good friend of mine.
Oh,
Hmm.
mm, very
Sorry
moving.
to hear that, Lisa.
Yeah.
But that was a beautiful reading, and your work is just amazing. It was
It was
very, very moving. Thank you
Thank you.
for
very
sharing with
moving
us.
stuff. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm.
And thank you to everybody from, non-poet regulars who came here as spectators to see me. I appreciate it.
It's great. Yeah, at one point we had the most people that we've had in years. It was like up to 28. And I was, gonna cheer you on for that. Oh, wow. That's excellent. All right. I think you rendered us speechless. It was
Oh,
really
really moving.
heavy hitting. Yeah, really amazing. Wow. I'll stop the recording now. Just wanted you to have some of those comments.